morning. I'm here to do your What's Cracking reading. A few things. Firstly, thank you so much for your love and support. You know how much I appreciate you. What have I got to tell you? Young will be coming to Young in November. Keep a lookout for us if you're in Young, New South Wales, Living Wellness Fairs, but I'll put that up on my Facebook page. I am going to be away between the 4th and the 26th of October. We're heading over to Tasmania, which was a trip that we wanted to do during the COVID months, and just after COVID, but it was just impossible. So we're finally getting that trip. So if you want a reading from me, I'd suggest you either book in this week. I will be available Monday, Tuesday next week. But failing that, then it would have to be after the 26th. So if you do want a reading after the 26th, I do suggest you book it in before, because I have this, I have always this rush when I've been away for a while. So keep that in mind. I think that's everything. I feel like there's more to tell you, but we'll leave it at that for now. We're going to use the Romantic Tarot for your reading today. It's had a really good shuffle, so let's see how we go. Okay, so we're starting out with the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man's a card that talks about sort of being stuck in limbo somewhat. It does talk about taking time out to see things from a different perspective as well. So all in all, if you're feeling stuck at the moment, then you could be in this sort of energy. It doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes I feel like when you're stuck, it's because it's time to grow. Sometimes we stick for ourselves when we're trying to see things differently. You know, if something, for example, has happened where we need to see things from a different light. So sometimes we can take the time out for ourselves. For example, say you were in a career that you were really over and you want to choose a new career. You might decide to take time out to think about what you need to do, sort of enforced. But sometimes this comes as part of the universe's greater plan for us, you know, this time out to really consider something in particular. Like I always say to people, if you're feeling stuck, best thing to do is immerse yourself in something creative. If you sing and dance, do that. If you paint, do that. Draw, whatever. And it really will help. Some people just get really into sports, going walking, exercising, whatever it is, give your head a rest, because this could mean that you're sort of stuck in a cycle of overthinking, wondering why you're feeling stuck. Let's have a look why. All right, so for some of you, you may be stuck in some sort of legal situation. It could be that you're trying to settle after a divorce, for example. But whatever this is, it could be to do with contracts being signed too. Maybe you're waiting for another party to sign something off. But it definitely feels more legal than karmic. All right, if it's karmic, then that makes sense too, because if you're stuck in an energy, it may be where you are learning how to do things differently. You know, somebody said to me not long ago about the person that they were with had left them and there was no other person in the world for them, which is great. You're still in your grieving process if you're feeling that way. And you know, she's waiting for someone to come back. And I figure if you're waiting, then this just makes everything seem longer. And it's like the pot never boils if you're watching it, the old-fashioned saying. Sometimes we get stuck in that energy because we don't feel that we can move forward for whatever reason. But in any situation, whether it's a relationship or whatever, if you haven't done your grieving, get stuck into the grieving, get stuck into sort of moving stuff. Because when I said that to her, she said, well, it's got nothing to do with me, it's all to do with the other person. And I thought, right there, you've got things that you need to heal right there. So if you're waiting on someone and you're waiting for a result, the best thing you can do is get stuck into things that you can do yourself, like creative things. Focus on your own journey. Don't put all your energy into the other person, because if you're doing that, you're giving away all of your power. So I feel like this is what this is about. We do have the Lovers card behind that. So I'm almost sure that for some of you, you're waiting for something to happen here. You're waiting for maybe, you know, something, especially with that sort of karmic energy and the Hanged Man. You're waiting for somebody else to contact you. You're waiting for somebody else to make a move. You could be waiting, as I said, for a legal thing. You may be waiting for a house to sell, for example. But when I get the Lovers through here, I see that there is a choice. to move on or stay stuck. You could be stuck in that energy for a very long time waiting for somebody to return to you. You could be stuck in that energy for a long time if you're not doing what you need to do to move forward. If you think there's nothing wrong and that you are fine, then that's good too. But if you have come out of a relationship where things are up in the air and you're completely focused on the other person, then you have things that you need to heal. Whether that is grief, Five of Swords, okay. Somebody's walked away from somebody here. And the Five of Swords for me is always that I've had to leave something behind even though I didn't want to. It's always that energy of having to let go of something that perhaps you didn't want to let go of. It's a very, some people see it selfish. I don't see it selfish. I feel like it's an energy of looking after your own well-being. So if somebody's treating you really badly, you may be in a karmic relationship where you need to walk away. And when I talk karmic, all relationships are karmic. They're all there to teach us something. And there is some sort of learning you need to grab here because there's a brand new beginning coming. However, we don't know when this brand new beginning's coming. So we have to wait until it's ready. The thing is, this could be a year away. So if you're sitting thinking about another person for a year, all that energy that you have within yourself, all of your power you're giving to the other person. Just have a quick peek. Yeah, I feel like here, because we have this beautiful energy of the Hierophant, and I feel like this may be what you need to learn here. Has a lot to do with patterns, childhood learning, traditions of your family. Some of those things are stuck in this energy. But I also feel like the Hierophant here is there is a happy ending, but it's with the Fool card, it's almost like saying to me, you're foolish for waiting. You need to put it on the back burner and move forward. So whatever you're waiting for, don't focus on it. Try not to focus on it. It's okay to think about it, but don't put all your energy into it. All right, let's see where we're going. So I have a Queen of Wands coming through here. Now, the Queen of Wands doesn't sit by. She doesn't. She invests in herself. She knows her own importance. She knows her own value. She makes sure that she's at the top of her game. She's a leader. She knows how attractive she is because other people tell her all the time. She has this confidence, this self-esteem, this way of being that makes her stand out. This is the person here that you are becoming. So if you're coming out of a relationship, this is what you need to be working on, because the universe is saying here, you need to take on the energy of the Queen of Wands. Whether you're male or female, you need to take on that energy. I always think, like, if you're sort of feeling sorry for yourself and you're really sad waiting for somebody to return, then your energy is low. And when our energy is high, we shine like a beacon, like the Queen of Wands. So shine like a beacon. Then the person you're dealing with will find their way back to you. Let's have a look. All right, so I have Temperance, the Strength card, and the Four of Swords. It's all there. Look at that. So the Four of Swords talks about taking time out to rest and recuperate. Really sort of focus on your own healing here. The Strength card tells me that there is work needing to be done around your shadow side. And your shadow side is that side of you that becomes, like, we all grieve over situations. It's natural and normal to grieve over something when it's gone wrong. There is a healthy grieving time, and it is very different for all of us. But what I want to say to you here with the Temperance card, this is about, all this energy is about bringing yourself back into balance. It's about bringing yourself where you need to be. Now, I feel like here with this Queen of Wands, you would then be a better energy than you were before this situation closed out. So this sadness, this grief that you're feeling of leaving something behind may be healthy, but you can actually release yourself from this situation by really focusing on you. So if you're focused on when will they return, when will we be together, are things going to happen, then what you're not doing is focusing on your own energy, raising your own vibration enough that they can see your light shine. Because when you're in this energy of healing, your vibration would be lower. And that's fine because you're putting the healing into yourself. But what you want to do is raise your vibration. I feel like you're doing a really good job, yeah, because the Ten of Cups is coming out. There's the return right there. So I feel like especially, this is absolutely beautiful. So you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is pretty much saying, hey, you know, this is going to take time, and when it's ready, it will come around. And we have the Judgment card, which is a return here. So whatever this is, you're getting a result. Absolutely. But the result is not right there in front of you. The result may be 12 months down the track. It might be 6 months, it might be 3 weeks. In my experience as a reader, some people have, you know, really good results very, very quickly, and other people have to wait a while. But if you're really focused on what's gone wrong or what is not happening, then you're going to manifest more of what went wrong and what's not happening. And I feel like here you're getting it. So whatever you're healing here, you're coming up as this Queen of Wands, and you've got a result coming through here. This is about rebirth. It's about bringing something back that you didn't deal well with the first time around. Maybe things didn't go well because you had things to heal. We've all been there. We've all done that. We've all collapsed in little puddles of mess when we've had a breakup. Believe me, it is the same for every one of us. And for some of us, we can get out of that very, very quickly. And for others of us, we struggle to get back on top of things again. But if you try, if you push yourself in the right direction, if you heal those things that you need to heal. I was doing something earlier today, and I had a memory come up so very strong for me. And I realized through all the grief and trauma I've been through, there are still parts of me that are unhealed. The thing is, when I get shown that, when I have the memory, when I have the thought, I go straight into, okay, that needs to be healed. So the more I do that, the less I think of those situations. But they can be quite triggering and quite traumatic when they come through. I try not to sit with them for too long. I try to recognize them and then go into the healing as quickly as I can. But sometimes they are so intense that I do need to take time out. But I said to somebody once, what I do is I allow myself a period of time. So I say, well, if I'm going to think about that, I can think about that till lunchtime, and then I need to get on with my life. So I give myself the time to think about it, the time to sort of digest it, and then I get straight back into working with whatever energy I need to work with. And for me here with the Strength, Temperance and the Four of Swords, I really feel that most of you are either recognizing that maybe you've already done some healing, maybe you just keep tripping back into the trauma, maybe you keep sort of revisiting the pain, and that's okay. Try not to stay there. Because I feel like here that you are resolving something here. Ten of Cups is beautiful energy. That says to me there is some sort of happy ending coming here. All right, Ace of Pentacles, a brand new beginning, and here comes a Knight of Wands here. So you could be dealing with a fire sign. I have Leo energy coming through, Sagittarius, Leo, Sagittarius energy here. But this says somebody is coming in with a brand new beginning. And if your light's shining as bright as these three cards here, this person will not have any problem or issue coming towards you. I feel like you may be dealing with somebody here who's going through healing as well, because sometimes these readings sort of flip-flop. So you could be dealing with somebody who is going through healing. You know, and some of the healing you will do together. And it's really so much easier when you have someone who understands your traumas and works through them with you. But you are building your own capacity here with these three cards. All right, last card we have here is the Three of Pentacles. I almost want to say there's a contract being fulfilled here. There is definitely this feeling with the Three of Pentacles that there's some sort of contract waiting to be fulfilled. But in order to fulfill this, you've got to get yourself back to where you need to be. So to me, it's a beautiful reading because it sort of talks about what's going on in the moment. It talks about what you can work on and how to move forward. And then it talks about a beautiful ending here where you're starting again, when you're getting that opportunity to start again. So maybe you're in this healing mode here with the Hanged Man because you're thinking about what you need to heal. Maybe you are going deep inside trying to understand what part of you needs to be healed. I feel here, whatever this is, if whether it's a legal situation you're going through or whether it's karmic, you could be going through a divorce with somebody that you really love because they chose the divorce. You could have had a situation that became very, very toxic here. Because when I look at the Lovers card, I can see two people who are meant to be together. But the choice has been made for somebody to walk off with this Five of Swords. I do love that we have the Fool card here, because this reflects in the reading that there's a brand new beginning coming. However, with this sort of energy here, we could be talking Taurus season, which would be about the middle of next year. So whatever this is, you are healing from it. You are doing what you need to be doing. I do feel that whatever soul contract you've got with this person is coming to some sort of closure here. But the time it takes to go from this energy into the healing may be a little while. So you can't sort of focus on that, because then you're not attending to what you need to be attending to. All right, let's have a look and see. I have some cards that want to come out here, but I'm going to wait until it comes out by itself. And there it is. Repairing the veil and forgiveness. See, there you go. You might have some forgiveness to find. You know, I remember this person saying to me, and she was very spiritual, and I said to her, you need to move on from a situation. You need to forgive. There needs to be forgiveness. And she said, I don't want to forgive the other person. I was like, why? Well, they don't deserve it. And I said to her, forgiveness is not about the other person. The forgiveness is about you letting go. You know, we all need to forgive ourselves. Some of us hold, you know, such strong shame and guilt from our pasts. And that isn't about forgiving the person that led us there. It's about us forgiving the situation so we can move on. If you're holding on to all the guilt and shame and blame and everything else, it makes it very, very difficult for the universe to move you forward. So but forgiving is really should be called letting go. All right, let's have a look and see what it says here. Now, it's the card 45, which is number 9. And it talks about making amends and recognition of our unity. Between us all, a thin veil appearing to be a space that separates us. We look through this veil and believe ourselves to be distinct from each other. We assume that our thoughts and feelings are our own. We see bodies and objects and the spaces between them, so we engage the world in relationships beyond or between a duality of us and them. This veil serves as a mysterious illusion, making it hard to believe in our inherent connection and unity. We can't always remember that what we do to someone else, we do at the same time to ourselves. When we claw at the veil out of fear, anger, jealousy, or resentment, manipulate another or misuse our power, or allow someone's actions to diminish us, we create a wound felt by many, not just those of us in the smaller direct relationship. Now is the time to examine where your actions have caused difficulty or harm to someone else, and also where you have been the recipient of harm. Regardless of what side you're on, it's important to take responsibility for healing this rift by bringing love, compassion, deep listening and presence to whatever is not in harmony. Do this for you and for your own liberty as you become an unwitting hostage once you take the role of perpetrator or victim, both positions of weakness. Let go of all your resentments, know your part in the dynamic, and make the appropriate amends with that newfound wisdom and understanding. Healing, forgiveness, and mending what is broken in your world is a sweet, much-needed declaration of freedom. Now, I always say, you know, these cards don't come out accidentally. That is just absolutely indicative of the reading. But the part here that really makes me feel that this is where you're healing is where this says, do this for you and for your own liberty as you become an unwitting hostage once you take on the role of perpetrator or victim, both positions of weakness. And many of us in sad times will take on the role of the victim. And I feel like it's appropriate for a small amount of time. You know, it's the poor me, it's I'm really sad, and why did they do this to me, and I didn't deserve it. But in reality, you still have a part to play. Now, that doesn't mean anyone's to blame, but it means that there's a part of you there that needs to be healed. So it says, let go of all your resentments, know your part in the dynamic, and make the appropriate amends with that newfound wisdom and understanding. Healing, forgiveness, and mending what is broken in your world is a sweet, much-needed declaration of freedom. So if you're still feeling it was completely the other person's fault and that somehow you were the victim in this, then you're not really attending to what you need to heal. And your healing may not be a horrible thing. It may be that you've got to learn not to be so giving in a relationship, not to be so manipulated. Maybe you were dealing with someone who was getting their own way all the time and you were give, and then you become resentful that you're not getting back. But whatever this is, it really says to me that if you heal this, you'll have really good results. There's a really good outcome here. All right, I'll leave you with that. Very deep reading. Thank you.